Welcome to InterviewU, where your questions take center stage. You submit the questions, and we interview the professionals. Today, we're collaborating with the YouTube channel at Rose AJ Coates. Rose AJ sits down with Joanna to explore her carnivore journey and her new focus on emotional alignment, her way of giving back to a community she deeply respects.
So watch, listen, and learn all about Joanna Ruth and emotional alignment.
So you have to find ways to ask yourself or test yourself. You can do it without actually physically changing anything, because your mind doesn't know the difference between a memory, an observation, or an imagining, right? So you can use this system to your advantage. You don't actually have to go and rearrange your whole house. You can just imagine it different and see how you feel about it. I call this Imagineering. I've been doing it for years, but I've been doing it like with relationships. So I might meet someone and then get to know them a bit, and I'm a bit hesitant. So in my own space, I will imagine that we're going the next step, and they say this and I say that, and how do I feel about that? And if I don't feel comfortable about it, it's like, oh, okay, well, I know what I need to do. I need to not be in a relationship with that person. Or if I feel something really good, okay, I will take the next step. So it's part of that came up. I developed that technique for me because I couldn't feel my feelings very easily. So I would have to take it into a safe space to learn, how do I really feel about something? And so I still kind of use it with like imagining the absence of something that I suspect maybe I'm addicted to. And if I go, oh, where would I get it? Which shop would have it? I go, okay, it's out.
Well, that
So,
is so
yeah.
clever. That's really clever because cheese, the yogurt, the hot
Yeah.
dogs, and the
Mm.
4505 pork rinds.
Yeah.
That's equivalent to how I used to go back in the day to like McDonald's or something and get
Correct.
binge food. So these four particular items, it's like, oh, I'm going to have junk today for my meal, even though it's
Yeah.
not junk,
So
it's
that's
carnivore
super
legitimate.
interesting. Yeah, it's
Yes. So
carnivore
that's the
junk.
way
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So that's the
So
way I
it's
picture it.
interesting that you use that word, because I had a conversation, or maybe many conversations with an old friend of mine about this language we use, which is treating yourself. Yeah. And she said, oh, I'm just treating myself. I'm just treating myself. And I would say, how are you treating yourself? And she would say, what do you mean? I go, well, how are you treating yourself well by treating yourself? What are you really doing? Are you, if your parent had to give you permission to do that, do you think that they would? Do you think it's good parenting to allow you to treat yourself in that manner? Because it's not really like the idea of I'm treating myself is I'm giving myself a reward. Why do you need a reward? Because you did something hard. Life is hard. Yeah, life is hard. Right? And so you need a reward. And it's up to you whether you work with a coach or whether you do it in your own time. It's up to you to figure out what your concept is of why is this this context of hard, why does that need a treat? Why does that need a reward? Why can't that just be normal? Hard is normal.
Yeah.
Why does
Yeah.
one need a treat? And I used to treat myself all the time. I used to treat myself, and in treating myself, I treated myself very poorly.
Right. Because
And
that was the normal behavior that you engaged in, right?
yeah, and then all of a sudden, when I took on the self-parenting responsibilities very seriously, there is no treating yourself with food. Food is not a treat. Food is just nutrition, because by treating yourself with food in today's environment, you're mistreating yourself. And so it's
I
not
would
a
agree with
reward. It's not an
I would agree
appropriate
with you.
reward. Yeah. Go on.
I would agree with you 110%,
Yeah.
except that I know that when I look for these 4 particular foods, that I'm
Mm.
taking a break from my normal pattern, but still staying within my preferred dietary guidelines. So
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
necessarily just me treating or rewarding, it's just taking a break, but staying within the parameters that I've set for myself on carnivore.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, and these
maybe the parameters need adjusting when, you know,
yeah,
when you're ready. You have to be ready for
yeah.
these things. You can intellectually understand things
Mhm.
for quite a while before you're emotionally ready to say, okay, well, it's like me with dairy. I mean, how many years did I eat dairy? And then today I'm listening to Dr. Berry interviewing Siobhan Huggins. And I have all these interviews running in the background when I'm not doing anything that using sound on the computer, and I hear her say, yeah, dairy is a really big problem for a lot of women with lipedema, and I go, oh, hello. So it's not just people who obviously know that dairy is a problem for them when their gut hurts or their toileting changes because dairy is affecting them in a particular way. It can actually be affecting you in a way that you're not recognizing it's affecting you.
Right.
And
Right.
so any level of reaction, negative reaction in your body is going to cause inflammation. I mean, this is the first month because it's coming to the end of the month. I would usually have at least 3 pimples. I used to have it used to be very, very deep acne, like cystic acne that would come up uh in the like 1 week before my cycle changed over. And then it would create such a blemish that it would last until and be so aggravating for 2 weeks. It would so I'd have 2 weeks kind of a little clear and 2 weeks with it coming up, being there or leaving. And I've had that my whole entire adult life. And after taking out dairy, after the first month I had maybe 1, then the second month was very small. So not big and deep, but small and more surfacey. And this is the first month, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And so it has been affecting me, and it's been affecting me by making my hormones dysregulate. So dairy for me is an absolute no. I mean, I stopped eating dairy and I left some of it in the fridge. Like I left some goat's cheese and some sheep's feta because I thought, oh, maybe I'll test it out. And I never did, so I gave it away. Yeah, sometimes we just make a hard call, we make a hard decision, and then that's it. We're not going back from it. And until you're ready to make that decision, the struggle is not over. The struggle is kind of over once you make that hard decision. And then it's like, well, I'm just going to suffer with whatever happens because I know I'm not going to have it. But until then, it's a bit of a struggle and you're just trying to work out how to still have these things and have the attachments, and you have to meander down the mountain.
I hope you've enjoyed our interviews, and thank you to everyone who's submitted questions so far.
If you've got fresh ideas, leave your questions and comments below, and we'll get to work on them.
Bye for now.
See you in our next set of interviews.
Hello, I'm Joanna Ruth, but you can call me Joanna. I've embraced a carnivore lifestyle increasingly for the past 10 years. Now honing my diet to include meat, seafood, eggs, butter and salt. No plants or dairy anymore for me. With 30 years of experience in education, teaching both adults and children, I've spent the last 20 years developing effective life coaching methods. I now focus on the mental environment as a crucial factor in our health, and I'm excited to share the method of emotional alignment with the carnivore community. another secret weapon to use for our well-being successes. I hope you enjoyed watching this episode. Please subscribe to the channel and email us if you'd like more information about life coaching. Here's a playlist for the entire series. Please like and subscribe, it helps more than you know. See you in the next video.